be hosting Willemijn this afternoon, who's going to be talking about Proloquo and Proloquo Coach. Willemijn is a speech and language therapist and AAC consultant. She joined AssistiveWare to make a meaningful contribution to the wider AAC community. And the last few years, Willemijn has been working as the vocabulary design lead, developing the crescendo evolution, the vocabulary integrated into Proloquo. So we're really looking forward to hearing from Willemijn this afternoon. Willemijn's going to be presenting for about 20-25 minutes, and then there'll be 5 or 10 minutes at the end for any questions. If you have any questions as we go along, you feel free to type them into the chat and we will answer what we can, and then we will kind of gather up anything else at the end and we can ask Willemijn live. You can pop your mics on, etc. Also to let you know that this is being recorded this afternoon, so we could ask you please just to turn your cameras off so that you don't appear in the recording when you might not want to. But at the end, feel free to pop your mics on and you can ask any questions. So I'm going to hand over to Willemijn, and we really look forward to hearing all about the apps. Over to you.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity for me to be here with you guys. It's lovely to see you all and to meet you all. I'm going to share my screen. You're going to see yourself for a second, I think, and then if I'm right, you guys can all see my screen now. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for having me. And today I will be talking to you all about Proloquo and Proloquo Coach. A slight introduction about myself. My name is Willemijn. I'm an SLT and I work for AssistiveWare within the Netherlands. I've been working as an AAC, as a specialized AAC consultant for over 15 years now. I joined AssistiveWare 7 years ago, and the last 3 years I've dedicated my soul to leading the team that was designing the vocabulary, which is crescendo evolution that lives within the new Proloquo. You guys might have heard from AssistiveWare. AssistiveWare's one of the most famous apps from AssistiveWare is Proloquo to Go. But AssistiveWare is a company that's based in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, and it's a company with a social mission. And the mission of AssistiveWare is to make AAC an effective and accepted means of communication. We would like everyone who is out there to be able to communicate no matter where they are, who they are, or what they want to communicate about. And we have set that as our mission to make AAC accepted worldwide. While we have been out there for quite a while, those of you guys who know us, AssistiveWare is around for like over 20 years now. Right before COVID, we decided that it was time to take a look at that mission that we've set us and those obstacles who are there to effective AAC. Why is it that we need to strive for this mission? Why isn't AAC just an effective and accepted means of communication? So we started to do some research, and when we were researching, we found we looked at the parents first. So at the parents from those users who have troubles communicating. And the insights that we gained from that is that if we're looking at the journey, that user journey from the parents, that they are going through a few phases. So first we have said there's a research phase. It's that phase where you've heard that communication might not going to be the most effective way to communicate. Typical communication might not be the most effective way to communicate in daily life, and you're going to research if there is something out there that might help your child. And then when you find out about AAC, you start reading about it, you learn about it, you might talk to a few people about it, and then there's going to be that moment that you're going to find an AAC solution that might fit within your needs, and you start preparing for using it. And after that preparation, you're getting started. And after a while, we hope that when you use it, that you're coming into this phase where you actually succeed in what you were doing, and you're coming into that consolidation phase where you keep using it. We noticed that parents who were going through those phases told us often that they had the feeling that they were very overwhelmed, that they had no idea what they were doing, but they also had no idea where to look, or if they got their information, that it was just too much and they couldn't see what they couldn't find what they really needed. It was too much. It came from all sides. It was just too overwhelming. That feeling of overwhelmingness that was there for them in their whole user journey. They reported that was always there. And they also said that they had the feeling that they didn't know enough about AAC. They didn't know what they were searching for. They didn't know what they were getting into. They didn't know what they were using. And that lack of knowledge, they also felt that throughout all these stages. A lot of the times parents reported to us that they were feeling alone, that there was no one in their region, no one in their social region that had any idea of what they were going through, and that they had no one to really share it with, because there was no one who was feeling the same as them. So they felt alone. Then when they had found that AAC system or that AAC solution that they were going to use, then they found out that it was actually quite hard to get the team on board. And that when they were going to start and they had read all about it and they knew that they wanted to start modeling and use the app or use the system, that modeling is actually quite hard. And then they told us, they reported to us, and this was something that we already had thought of ourselves, that our app, our Proloquo Go app, actually had a quite big learning curve. So it's not that easy to actually start using it. We also interviewed a few educators, some teachers, and we asked them about their pain points. And they reported back to us that AAC devices are really hard to learn, and AAC apps, and that the fact that they often have more AAC solutions within one classroom makes it even harder to learn all these systems. When they were able to train their staff, that high staff turnover makes it very hard to keep their staff trained. So because they leave, and then you need to train new staff and get new staff on board. There were more, as I mentioned, there were more students in many classrooms, like more different systems in many classrooms, which were differently configured, and that made the modeling very hard. And it also makes the training for those classroom teams and paraprofessionals very hard. And then they also felt that all of the AAC systems out there lacked the essential academic vocabulary that they needed to be able to teach. We also had a few pain points, because from the anonymous data that we are collecting from our active Proloquo Go users, we saw that there are still a lot of people who are using the basic communication. So when you open Proloquo Go, you can choose between basic communication, intermediate communication, and we actually give you a default, which is the 7x11 intermediate core. But you can also select advanced communication. But we saw that 21% in the UK of the people who are starting up, the users who are starting on Proloquo Go are using basic communication, and 31% of the users within the UK are using less than 20 buttons within the intermediate core, and only 20% of the users are using the default that we selected, or actually more. I have put the numbers of Australia next to the UK, because the Australians are actually the ones that have the highest numbers, the best user numbers within our stats. So it's nice to compare. We also noticed that the average use of word a day is quite high if you compare it to Proloquo for text. So it's double or even 3 times as double from Proloquo for text. But if you look at the percentage of core, and you can see that only 1/3 of the words that are being used are core, and the total unique words that are out there are like 11%, which is much less than the 17% for Proloquo for text user, which also shows us that people are actually showing a lot of repetition. We can't see the words that they are using, but we can see that there's a lot of repetition within the words that they use, and as they are using a lot of French, we could see that they were repeating a lot of French words. We could also see that out of these figures that people are actually making an effort not to use the default and go around it. So they were actually not following the guiding principles that we had set out for the use of Proloquo Go. And next to that, we saw that if we look at the average non-typing Proloquo Go user, that they use about 1,000 words, around a vocabulary about around 1,000 words. And our most proficient, our top 1 users have a vocabulary that they are using around 4,000 words. But the average pre-literate child already uses between the 4,000 and 6,000 words of a vocabulary. So we also saw that that was quite low, and that we were actually not very good in reaching our mission and getting to our goal. So 5 years ago, we found that it was time to step back and to reflect and to start over again. And we started over from scratch. At that moment, it was around the moment that COVID started. So we said that we needed to switch and we needed to envision a different solution. And we thought about an AAC service. We wanted to have an AAC app that is robust and yet easy to learn. And we also wanted to have an AAC coaching app for parents and educators next to it. And our premises were that if parents can understand, learn, and use the AAC system, they will use and model it more, which means that the user will get better in using it. And if parents can understand, learn, and use AAC, that so would teachers and paraprofessionals and SLPs. So that's how our service was developed. And first we took a look at Proloquo, the vocabulary, so the app Proloquo and Crescendo Evolution. And we figured out that it needed to be an easy to understand app. It needed to be easy to learn and to model. It shouldn't be overwhelming, because we noticed that that was the most difficult, one of those most difficult pain points that parents and teachers had felt. So we developed it to be easy. We designed it to be easy on the eyes. When you see it, you can see that it's a relatively small grid size compared to what we've always said that a grid size should look like. We wanted it to be efficient, so you will see that there is some static core. We make use of tabs, and all the words that are selected within the vocabulary are data-driven, data-informed. It should be easy to learn so that everyone would be able to learn and model the vocabulary. So it's built with an easy, shallow hierarchy, and it has a fixed modal plan for every concept. I will explain that in a second. And it should be unbreakable. So we have delivered you a single grid with a fixed base vocabulary. You can't change it, so that you can't mix it up. Next to that, we wanted it to be robust, comprehensive, and growth-oriented. So it needed to be easy, robust, so easy access to core French, your grammar, and your alphabet. We wanted it to be comprehensive and inclusive, so that it was appropriate for all ages. It needed to support your vocabulary and your literacy development. We have done that with the use of related words, which I'll show in a second. And it needed to be expandable, so that you could, so that you would have space for your own personal created vocabulary. So the vocabulary needed to be efficient and complete. It's efficient. The average word uses about 1.6 tabs, which is the same as Proloquo to Go's 7x11, which is the default. It's complete. At this moment, you will find 12,000 words built in and over 3,000 buttons with symbols in there, which is 3 times as many words as Proloquo to Go, Speak for Yourself, or LAMP's Word for Life. We wanted it to have words that matter. So 89% of the 2,500 common AAC phrases can be created out of the box. And it's ready for the curriculum. So you will find, as teachers had told us that they missed the curriculum words, you will find all the needed curriculum words that you need to be able to teach within the Proloquo to Go vocabulary. It's really easy to create phrases quickly, and most of the words are already in there, which also means that you don't need to customize it so highly. I have taken an example. So this is an example of 2022, which we made at Communication Matters by then. And it gave us the sentence predicting the season of the Great British Bake Off based on a cast photo. And we've tried to create the same sentence with Proloquo to Go. We found out that there were 4 words missing, and you needed 2.4 tabs per word. When we created the same sentence with Proloquo, all the words were present and the same 2.4 tabs per word were needed. So let's demo. This is, can you guys also, yeah, you guys are still all there, sorry. This is the vocabulary, this is Proloquo to Go, no, Proloquo, I'm sorry, with Crescendo Evolution. And as you can see here, this is the home screen. And what you will see is that this is your core. So you'll find your core here, and they are designed in a layout in rows, in columns, sorry. And in that first column, you will find your pronouns with the tab above that opens up your pronouns. If you can see that that those first 2 rows stay, that's your static core. They always stay inside. If I hit another tab, then you will see that a different page opens up. So here you will find your pronouns. This is your thinking and your sensing verbs. You will find your activities over here. Here are your prepositions. These are your adjectives and your adverbs, your question-related words, the chat, and all the French can be found over here. What we found out from research is that designing it in this way was easy on the eye, and people were still able to actually find the words that they were looking for. They didn't need words like describers or action words or location words. People were able to select those words just by seeing the few words that are represented on the front page and that give you a hint of what you are looking for. I can create a sentence from that first page. I can say I can go to the word am. And now you see that the word is selected. And as you can see here in the far right is that there are your inflections over here. So your grammar will be found over here. I can select the right word, the word that I'm looking for. I can listen. So that I'm able to select the word that I'm searching for. I really want this one. Well, let's find a verb. I would like a sensing verb.
Looking.
I am looking
good.
Today I'm looking good. As you can see, it's quite easy to select those words. Those grammar options are over there, but they are not, they're easy on the eye. They are there to use, but they are not straight in your face. You don't have to use them if you don't want to. And what you also see is that next to that grammar row in the right, there also opens up a row with what we call related words. And those related words, they are connected to those to the concept that is out there of good. So good is the first concept that a child will learn, and there are some nuances like amazing or awesome or excellent. And those words all use the same symbol, so it didn't make any sense to symbolize those words. So we just kept them here as a related words, and you can select them when you go in your language. When you go into your French words, you can see that there is a lot of French words covered here. You can go down into a folder and you can have 2 pages and you can go down one more step. You can't go down lower, and once you hit the tab, you are back on the top. We have made sure that all those words that users need to be able to go through their development also in school, all those words are there. They are not hidden in the folder with school. This is just a folder about things at school, but your literacy, your math, your science, all those words are in there. You will find all those words in here. Next to that, we've also taken a renewed look at all the symbols that are in there. So if you look at, that word shouldn't be there. If you look at opinions, then we found that symbols like crazy or weird used to be a person, but those can also apply to things. So we have asked you to create some new symbols and to make them less people related. We have also done some things to make sure that they are more less stigmatic. So if you take a look at animals, you will find a female and a male, but they are not pink and blue anymore. They are all black now. For the sake of time, I need to move forward because otherwise I can't show you guys the rest. Next to Proloquo, we've also created Proloquo Coach, and Proloquo Coach is an app designed for parents and non-experts to be able to use Proloquo and the crescendo evolution vocabulary. It's written with a 5th grade reading level. It's learn and practice in small steps, so it's paced. It gets you to all that difficult information around AAC in a paced time. You learn in manageable chunks. You can practice and you can reflect, and there's some interaction with our team. How does that look like? This is Proloquo Coach. When you open up the app, it gives you a discover, so it will give you some ideas of some what you would like to learn more about, but you can also browse topics. When you browse topics, you will find all the content that is in there. And if you click a tab, let's see, it's use Proloquo, I can open up an article, I can read it. It's easy to read, it's not that long, and as soon as I'm done with it, I'm done, and I can go back. I can practice, so there will be some practice questions here. What can I do? And it will pace me through it. And in some articles, you will have interaction with our team. It also gives you some team stats. So within Proloquo, you can work with a team. I will show you that in a second. And in Proloquo Coach, you will find how well your team has worked last week. So last week, I deliberately have opened up the app each day, and I've deliberately modeled to my dog to make sure that I've had enough to talk about. And this week, I've deliberately done it a little bit less on Monday, so it's showing me a happy face, but a little less happy face than last week. It won't give me any figures. It will just compare me to myself, to ourselves as a team, which will motivate us to be able to do better. Some practical information. Once you are inspired to start with Proloquo and Proloquo Coach, There is a basic model. You can get 1 license per AAC user, and you can share it with the whole family. There are also App Store licenses, which give you a 1 month free trial, and then you will pay monthly almost £9 or £90 for a year. And there's a discount for current Proloquo to Go users. There's special licenses, 1 to 5 year licenses for insurance and students. There are classroom license and evaluation licenses for classrooms and paraprofessionals. How does that look like? With Proloquo to Go, you would buy the app for the AAC user. And then if a teacher wanted to use Proloquo to Go, you needed to buy it too. And then for the SLP and for the paraprofessional, the OT, the parent, everyone needed to get Proloquo to Go on their iPad to be able to use it. You would back up the vocabulary and put it on your own iPad, and then you would be able to see it. With Proloquo and Proloquo Coach, that's not necessary anymore, because you can add for free your teacher, your SLP, your paraprofessional, your principal, your parent, your OT, and even if you would like, the bus driver, grandparents, and peers, and all of them create their own account, and they will get access to their own Proloquo Coach. If you want to learn more about these apps, please visit us at AssistiveWare.com, products, Proloquo and Proloquo Coach. And there are some blogs with some in-depth explanation of what we've done, how we've tried to make modeling easy, how we've organized the fringe, how the vocabulary is organized, why it has a fixed grid size, and why you can't change stuff on our blog page. And then I would like to thank you all for listening. I'm a little bit over time. And I would like to answer your questions. I can't see you guys anymore.
Okay, hi, Willemijn, that was great. Thank you very much. I think we've got a question here from Sarah. Please go ahead, Sarah.
Well, I'm from the United States. Thank you. That was fabulous. I'm very excited about seeing the new Proloquo. I have run into problems in the past with agencies I work with or school districts I work with not being able to purchase programs through app stores that are on subscription because there's a paywall block for purchasing things outside of the United States. Is there, that just recently happened. Is there a workaround for that? Like, if you buy the 5-year subscription?
Yeah, so what's happening now is that you don't have to buy the app anymore. You are downloading the app for free in the App Store. And when you have downloaded the app, you put it on your iPad, you need to create an account. And the account is actually the way you're paying. Within an account, you can either manage that account through the App Store, and then you're paying the license through the App Store, but you can also get a code, which is a licensing code, which is the 1 to 5 year codes that I was talking about. Those you will get through your account. You can buy them on our website, and then someone can give you that code, or if for instance, I'm not sure where you work. If you work as a consultant?
I work as a consultant, but it's for a state agency. So I cover 3 or 4 different school districts within the state of Oregon.
Yeah, so you could, you would have that, you would be the license manager, and you could give that license to someone else. So you could transfer that into their account, which means that you could actually would be able to pay for it in a different way than through the App Store.
Okay, and that information, if I'm looking at Proloquo and Proloquo Coach, is that information on the website?
That information is on the website, and if you want to know more about it or can't find exactly on the website what you want to know, just email our support team. They're there 24/7 because we have our support team spread all over the world. So they will be always there and able to answer your questions, and they know all about licensing.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for being there.
Yeah.
Thanks. There's a few links in the chat. If people have a wee look in the chat, I've posted a few links to the information. And I don't know if there's a sort of general support email, Willemijn, that you could pop in the chat if people wanted to find out more. That might be useful.
I can find the chat. I'm so sorry.
Well, that's okay. The wee speech.
I'm not nervous at
the speech
all.
bubble beside the people. But I've popped in the link that you'd put in. Ms. Wilson.
I can't see the speech bubble at all. It's support@assistiveware.com.
I'll type it in. So it's what, support?
@assistiveware.com.
At AssistiveWare. I've popped it in the chat. Right, another question. Ms. Wilson, is there a how-to-use guide for teachers on how to get started? Sort of quick guide in terms of a paper-based resource or possibly YouTube videos, that kind of thing?
Well, the idea is that coach is going to guide you through it. So if you set up your Proloquo and you open up coach next to it, your coach is going to be you on how to do it. And it's going to gently walk you through, okay, what is your first step? What is your second step? You can go around, if you know about AAC already, you can go around and you can start with step 19 or somewhere in the middle. But if you want to have it paced, I would like to suggest that you follow the chapters that are there in Coach. There is a paper-based version. We also have a forward board, which you can find on our website if you go to our website, and I can send you the link, but I can't find the chat, so that's a little bit, I'm sorry.
The link to Proloquo, I've popped that in
yeah,
from the main page about Proloquo.
Yeah, you can find it from the main page, and if you can't find it on the website, just go to the search bar, type in forward board, and then you will find all the forward boards that we have on our website.
Great. I was going to ask actually about the Proloquo Coach. Are there sort of lesson plans, sort of implementation ideas in that too, as well? There
are some ideas in there, some implementation ideas in there. You can toggle on if you're either a teacher or a parent, and then you get some ideas to how to use it. So your practice ideas will be adjusted to if you're either a teacher or a parent. We are still working on creating those, on expanding on those ideas. So there are still more to come. It's quite early days that it's out there, but there is a beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, great. It looks great. And Kirsty and I were both saying we're very excited that the new a cappella Scottish children's voices are integrated, which is great.
So much more to talk about, Joanne. I only showed a few things, and then I saw the clock.
The time.
I was like, oh my, it's already.
We'll need to have you back and do a follow-up. Yeah. Definitely. Another question from Ms. Wilson, would that help with the use of Proloquo to go as well, the Proloquo Coach, I presume she means, or are they very separate?
Proloquo Coach is designed to use with Proloquo and Crescendo Evolution, but if you are looking into the content of Proloquo Coach, it's definitely usable for other AAC apps too. Yes.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking as well that the AssistiveWare Core Classroom would also be something you'd want to use with Proloquo to go. I'll just put the link into that. The Core Word Classroom's got lots of ones that are related a bit more to Proloquo to go, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it's always still out there. And we also have the AAC Learn section on our website. The only thing is that the content that is written for Proloquo Coach is really smaller chunks, and it's really in an easier reading level.
Yeah, lots of the Core Word Classroom activities are great for ideas for implementation. Great. Okay, any other questions out there before we wrap up? I think that's maybe us. Right, okay, so yep, all I have to say thank you very much, Willemijn. That's been really interesting. I'm sure we could have talked for a lot longer, and we will need to have you back for part 2 sometime soon.
I would love to show you so much more about the vocabulary. What I forgot to say to you guys, and I really want to mention this, is that Proloquo, the Crescendo Evolution vocabulary is out there in 5 localizations. So we've localized for Australia, for Canada, for the US, for the UK and for the international English, for everyone who's living out there, like in Singapore or Hong Kong, who's speaking English, but not in any of these countries. Half February, we are releasing a new update, which is going to hustle the vocabulary around a little bit. I'm very sorry for everyone who's already using it. But we are going to make it even better. We are going to add around 4,000 new buttons, and I've added over 100 newly requested symbols. We've listened to the feedback of our users that we've gotten back over the last year, and we've incorporated all that feedback. What we did also is that we are adding a new localization, so we're adding Irish. So we will create a separate UK vocabulary, and there will be a separate Irish vocabulary, which is completely localized with all Irish words and traditions and stuff. So I thought, let's get it out there, because I know, Joanne, you told me that after this we need Scottish and Welsh too.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. Irish was first, just so you guys know.
Yeah, that's great.
I see
Okay.
you, so that's good.
Right. Okay then. Well, thanks very much again. And as we said, this recording will be archived in the next half an hour or so. So you can view it on our website. You can send the link to colleagues and friends as well. So we hope that was useful. I'm sure it was. And we'll see you next Wednesday for the next webinar at 4 o'clock, same time. See you next week. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Have a lovely evening.
Have a nice evening. Bye-bye. Thanks, Willemijn.